I'm Smriti Sudesh. Welcome to Above the Fold. This is the Hindu's new weekday flagship show where we break down the most important news developments of the day. We will also bring in experts giving you context and clarity beyond the headlines. We begin with the delimitation issue as the opposition seeks clarity. Also coming up, Pakistan proposes fresh U.S Iran talks as Washington signals progress. Uttar Pradesh government hikes minimum wages after Noida protest and an election roundup from West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Stay with us for the full report. A big story today is the delimitation controversy. Stalin has warned of massive protest, while Sonia Gandhi has made it clear that the opposition's objection is to delimitation, not the women's quota. Here's the full report.
நான் ஒன்றிய பாஜக அரசுக்கும் மாண்புமிகு பிரதமர் மோடி அவர்களுக்கும் இந்த நேரத்தில் முக்கியமாக ஒன்று சொல்லிக்கிறேன். நடக்க இருக்க நாடாளுமன்ற கூட்டத்தொடரில் எங்கள் எம்பிக்கள் கலந்துப்பாங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டை பாதிக்கிற மாதிரியோ வட மாநிலங்களுக்கு அரசியல் வலிமையை மேலும் வாரி வழங்குற மாதிரியோ ஏதாவது நடந்தால் தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க நாங்கள்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு சும்மா இருக்க மாட்டோம். தமிழ்நாடு ஸ்தம்பிக்கும். தமிழ்நாடு தனது எதிர்ப்பை கடுமையாக காட்டும். மாண்புமிகு பிரதமர் மோடி அவர்களே, மீண்டும் சொல்கிறேன், இது தமிழ்நாட்டிலிருந்து உங்களை நோக்கி விடுக்கப்படக்கூடிய இறுதி எச்சரிக்கை.
That warning from Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin comes as tensions rise over delimitation. He also alleged that the exercise is being pushed in a secret manner without consultation, warning that it confirms the fears of southern states. At the center of the issue is the government's push to operationalize 33% reservation for women in parliament and state assemblies, alongside a proposed delimitation exercise that could expand the Lok Sabha by nearly 50%. Opposition parties say linking the two could reshape representation based on population, raising concerns in states such as Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and West Bengal. Congress leader Sonia Gandhi, writing in the Hindu, said that the real issue is delimitation, not women's reservation, calling the proposal extremely dangerous and an assault on the constitution. She also cautioned against using the 2011 census without wider consultation. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge is convening a meeting of India bloc parties to finalize a joint strategy with several parties including the DMK, Trinamool Congress and the left opposing the proposal or questioning its timing. The centre, however, has defended the move. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called the amendments a step that will infuse new energy into India's democratic institutions. Union Minister Piyush Goyal, speaking to the Hindu, dismissed the concerns as a silly concern, saying any increase in seats would be proportional across the country.
It's a very silly concern. It either shows they are uneducated or their understanding is so poor that in any case they don't deserve to be in government. So we'll increase the seats, bring 1/3 reservation for women, ensure we fulfill our commitment to our sisters that women get 33% reservation, and we are doing a proportional increase. So all that fake narrative that Mr. Stalin and his ilk were promoting, that, oh, the southern states will be at a disadvantage, our population has reduced, so our seats will reduce, is all finished. There's a proportional increase across the country.
The opposition maintains the process is being rushed during an election period with no draft amendments shared and limited consultation. With Parliament set to take this up on April 16, the debate over representation and federal balance is set to intensify. Next, a major political shift in Bihar. Nitish Kumar has stepped down as Chief Minister. He chaired his final cabinet meeting earlier in the day and informed the ministers of his decision to dissolve the Council of Ministers. In a significant turn, Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Choudhary is set to take over as Chief Minister. The first time the BJP will lead the government in Bihar on its own. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to attend the swearing-in ceremony on April 15th at Lok Bhavan. Pakistan has proposed a fresh round of U.S Iran talks with Vice President J.D. Vance and President Donald Trump, hinting at some progress. We break down what this means and where things could be headed next.
After the first round of talks ended without a breakthrough, Pakistan is now pushing to bring the US and Iran back to the table. On April 13th, US President Donald Trump said Iran has reached out and wants a deal very badly, while Vice President J.D. Vance noted that Tehran has moved closer to Washington's position, adding that the ball is now in Iran's court. Even as Washington points to some progress, the ongoing US blockade and rising regional tensions continue to loom over the process. So, with diplomacy moving cautiously but risks still high, how far can these talks really go, and is a breakthrough within reach? Our Foreign Affairs editor Stanley Johnny explains.
If you look at the Islamabad talks, the talks failed to reach any breakthrough, but at the same time, the diplomatic process did not collapse. What both J.D. Vance and the Iranian delegation said that they would continue to stay in touch. And that's what the Pakistanis are trying to do now. Because, the Americans reportedly had asked a 20-year moratorium on enrichment by Iran, which is a step back from President Donald Trump's earlier demand on a complete ban on nuclear enrichment. The Iranians on the other side made a counter-proposal saying that they would be ready to issue a moratorium for 5 years, which is also a step down from the previous Iranian position of no end. They had insisted that they would not stop enriching uranium at all. So you can see that both sides had stepped down from their maximalist positions, but at the same time, still, there is a huge gap. But the question is how to reduce the gap, narrow the gap to find common ground between these two. And that would be made possible only if both sides continue their diplomatic engagement. And that's what the Pakistanis are trying to do. And if you look at how both the Iranians and the Americans respond to the crisis, even after their failure to reach an agreement in Islamabad, they still stick to the ceasefire. The Strait of Hormuz, yes, remains a contentious issue, but the Iranians haven't started firing at the Americans, and the Americans haven't started bombing the Iranians. What does it tell us? It tells us that both sides, despite the diplomatic setback, they stick to the ceasefire. And while sticking to the ceasefire, they use rhetoric language to keep their pressure points, while at the same time expressing a willingness to stay engaged diplomatically.
After violent protests by factory workers across Noida on April 13, the Uttar Pradesh government has now stepped in with an interim fix. But what sparked this unrest? Will the interim solution be enough to address the workers' anger? Here's the full report.
Yesterday, April 13th, thousands of factory workers gathered across Noida demanding higher wages, timely salaries, and better working conditions. Workers alleged long hours, delayed payments, and no increments for years, along with discrepancies in wage records and illegal deductions. What began as a demonstration soon turned violent. Some participants allegedly pelted stones and set a vehicle on fire. Today, Gautam Budh Nagar Police Commissioner Lakshmi Singh said that more than 300 individuals have been arrested and 7 FIRs registered in relation to the violence. Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav blamed the state government, saying workers were ignored and pushed to the brink.
अगर मजदूरों के हक अधिकार और उनके सम्मान का अगर पड़ोसी राज्य में उनको लाभ मिल रहा होगा, जहाँ से सहूलियत होगी, तो स्वाभाविक है कि मजदूर सड़क पे आएगा। मुख्यमंत्री जी मुजफ्फरनगर गए थे, कम से कम मेरठ के व्यापारियों को बुला लेते, उनका दुख दर्द सुन लेते। वैसे भी मुख्यमंत्री जी नोएडा जाने से घबराते नहीं हैं, लेकिन इस बार लग रहा है कि नोएडा जाने की हिम्मत नहीं जुटा पाए होंगे, जबकि 80-90 किलोमीटर दूर रहे होंगे।
Amid mounting pressure, the UP government moved quickly, announcing the interim wage hike in minimum wages for unskilled, semi-skilled and skilled workers. In Gautam Budh Nagar and Ghaziabad, unskilled workers will now earn Rs 13,690 per month, up from Rs 11,313. Semi-skilled workers will get Rs 15,059, while skilled workers will receive Rs 16,868. Across other municipal areas, unskilled wages have been fixed at Rs 13,006, semi-skilled at Rs 14,306 and skilled at Rs 16,025. In remaining districts, wages range between Rs 12,356 and Rs 15,224. Senior Congress leader Anil Yadav dismissed the hike as inadequate, saying it does little to offset rising inflation and the high cost of living in cities like Noida.
Now we turn to the Hindu Roundup to look at some of our exclusive contents. Today is the Hindu editorial titled Hungary for Change on Viktor Orban's ouster argues that Hungary's election delivers a clear and decisive verdict against Viktor Orban's two-decade rule. With Peter Magyar's TIS party securing a commanding majority, voters have rejected policies linked to weakened democratic institutions, corruption and strained ties with the European Union. While some positions like anti-immigration may remain, the result signals a broader global fatigue with hard-right populism and illiberal governance. However, the real test lies ahead, whether Magyar can restore institutional integrity, ensure accountability and pursue inclusive policies beyond just electoral victory. You can watch the full video on the Hindu's Originals YouTube channel. In a column in the Hindu, Y.S. Jagan Reddy, former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, turns the focus to the legacy of B.R. Ambedkar. He argues that remembering Ambedkar must go beyond symbolism and translate into governance that actively dismantles inequality. The piece highlights initiatives of the YSR Congress Party government in education, healthcare, rural service, and women's empowerment as efforts to promote dignity and inclusion. At the same time, it recalls Ambedkar warning on constitutional morality, stressing the need for governance rooted in institutions, accountability, and fairness. The column ultimately frames social justice as an ongoing project, measured not by rhetoric but by consistent action. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran have disrupted oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz, sending crude prices soaring and exposing vulnerabilities in India and China. While both rely on imported oil, China's shift to electric vehicles offers some insulation. What does this mean for India? Our show Data Point breaks it down.
Since the conflict began on 28 February, crude and refined fuel prices have increased rapidly. The average price of crude oil from major exporting countries has jumped by nearly 67% in just 1 month. But while both countries depend on imported oil, China's faster adoption of EVs has reduced its transport sector's exposure to fuel shocks, whereas India's transport sector remains heavily reliant on fossil fuels.
From sharp political attacks in West Bengal to legal heat in Tamil Nadu, the election battles across two key states is intensifying. Here's your roundup.
The political temperature in West Bengal is rising. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee hit out at the BJP, calling it a dirty party and questioning the use of logical discrepancy in the SAR exercise, which she says is neither official nor fairly applied. At a rally in Paschim Medinipur, she also alleged the BJP is padding crowds by bringing in people from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. But the opposition space remains fractured. Asaduddin Owaisi has entered the fray in Murshidabad after breaking ties with Humayun Kabir's party. He targeted both the TMC and BJP, accusing them of sidelining Muslims and treating them as a vote bank while pitching himself as an alternative. With Murshidabad's significant minority vote, these shifts could influence the outcome. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, speaking from Uttar Dinajpur, accused the BJP and RSS of vote theft and undermining democracy, while also targeting Mamata Banerjee over unfulfilled job promises in the state. Meanwhile, in Tamil Nadu, a legal storm is building. A petition in the Madras High Court seeks a probe into the financial disclosures of Deputy CM Udayanidhi Stalin. It flags missing assets, loan inconsistencies, and a sharp rise in income between his 2021 and 2026 affidavits. The court is expected to hear the matter on April 15th, with a probe sought before polling. And on the campaign trail, technology is taking over. After cardboard cutouts and lookalikes, now a 3D image projection or a hologram of Mr. Vijay accompanied TVK candidate R. Vinod in Kumbakonam during campaigning. This mirrors Narendra Modi's move in 2014 when he used holographic technology to address voters simultaneously across the country. From political slugfests in Bengal to legal battles and high-tech campaigns in Tamil Nadu, the election race is only getting sharper.
And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts on today's episode in the comment sections. If you found this video useful, don't forget to share it and save the About the Fold playlist so you never miss an update.